Today's lesson, how to make a zine. To do this project, we're going to need three things. Number one, a pencil. Number two are scissors. And number three is pretty basic, just one sheet of paper. So, the first step is to take our sheet of paper and fold it in half, hamburger style. That means lining up those corners nice and perfect, covering one corner with the other, and then creasing the fold. There we go. So we've got one nice strong fold in our piece of paper. It's like a little book. That's pretty cool. But we're not done yet. We're going to do this 2 more times. So let's fold it hamburger style in half. And we want to make sure that we fold it in half very carefully, because the more careful we are in the beginning, the better the zine is going to look at the end. So let's make sure to crease our paper very carefully. It'll really line up those corners. There it is. It's a slightly smaller book. Now one more time, we're going to fold it hamburger style in half. This is going to be the toughest one because the paper is so thick. But let's try to get those corners nice and lined up. Let's crease that back end and push down really hard this time. Get that crease in there. Nice strong fold in the paper. Perfect. So there's our tiny little book. So, that's pretty cool, but it's only 1 page. That's not enough. Let's fold it. Let's unfold it all. It's fun to unfold the paper. And I want to show you these 2 lines right in the middle here. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark these 2 lines right in the middle of the paper. These are important because these are the 2 that we're going to cut. So before we start cutting, I'm going to fold it hot dog style this time. Fold it so that you can see your line. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just give it a little snip. See that? Just a tiny little snip on both ends of that line. And what doing that little snip allows us to do is it gives us a little hole that we can stick the end of our scissor in. You see that? This is where the magic happens. With that tiny little hole that we stick the end of our scissor in, we can now cut the middle of the paper without cutting into it. So we don't want to cut any more than just those 2 creases. So let's start cutting, and let's try to be very careful to stay on the line, okay? And not cut anywhere past it, because if we cut more than those lines, then the zine's just going to fall apart. So there it is. Let's see how it looks. There it is. There's our hole. See? Nice and perfect. Just those 2 lines there. So I'm going to fold it in hot dog one more time. And look at this cool thing. When you start pushing the ends together, see how it opens up in the middle? That's exactly what we want to see, because if we push it all the way together, see how the paper just automatically wants to do that? Now we just fold it in half one more time, really push it in, get all those corners creased and folded so that it's in its final shape. And there we have it. Check this out. 1, 2, 3 pages. It's our perfect little zine. We've done it. Now what we fill our zine up with is our story, and that will be the subject of our next lesson, so stay tuned.